Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my random thoughts on Thursday, and this time I'm going to be talking about misconceptions of being child-free. So I have never made it a secret that I am child-free by choice, and I have put up a number of videos, including my most popular video on this channel about why I'm child-free, and if you want to know, I'll try to remember to put a link down below to that video if you haven't seen it yet. And I get a lot of comments on these videos, but it's also some of these misconceptions are things that just people outright have told me when I talk about it in public with other people and that kind of thing as well. I would have to say one of the number one misconceptions, the thing that I get told a lot, is, well, who's gonna, it comes in a couple of flavors, but it's mainly like, who's gonna take care of you when you're older, or you're gonna be old and alone, you're gonna be a lonely old person, things of that nature where, oh my gosh, when you get older, you're going to be lonely. And for some reason, it seems to me that people, number one, assume that once you hit retirement age, you become incapable of making friends. Is that really a perception that people have, that, boom, you're 65, boom, you can't make friends anymore, you're done? Because I know lots of retirees, and most of them, there's the senior center in town, there's lots of meetups and activities and group things. My neighborhood is primarily retirees. A lot of my neighbors are 65 and older, and we have block parties and game night, neighborhood game nights, and just all sorts of things. And even though I'm the youngin' in the neighborhood, but we're all friends together, and we hang out and we spend time together and we talk. And I'm friends with neighbors on both sides, and I talk to them all the time, and they have kids. That visit them and that kind of thing. I mean, their kids aren't taking care of them. In fact, they're taking care of their grandkids whenever their kids want to go off and do something, because you know what, they're not that old yet. And there's that perception that all of a sudden you can't have friends, or that you don't have family left. And of course, yes, these guys have kids, but they also have friends that come and visit. They have dinner parties. They do all sorts of activities. And so just because I don't have a child to come visit me, or for me to move in with, or whatever, I'm not going to be, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be alone, unless I choose to be, which, that's a choice. Not everyone minds being alone. I mean, some people seem to be completely terrified of being alone. I actually kind of enjoy being alone, although I do also enjoy socializing occasionally, but it's very draining for me because I'm an introvert, and so I do love having time alone. I don't need to be around people all the time. In fact, if I'm around people all the time, it just wears me out, and I need a day or two just to myself, just to recuperate and just kind of center myself and be myself. And there goes the other argument, or the other part of that argument is like, who's going to take care of you? Not everyone's kids will take care of them as they get older. In fact, here in the US, it's most common for an older person, if they can no longer care for themselves, their kids, 9 times out of 10, end up sending them to nursing homes because they don't want to take care of an elderly person. It's just not part of our culture. I know people from other cultures are like shocked by this, and you're supposed to respect your elders and take care of your elders and things, and it used to be that way, but that's just not how our culture has evolved. And so, sure, some kids will take in their elderly parents and take care of them, but not everyone does. Very often they can't, because it's a 2-income household. Both people have to work in order to maintain their standard of living, and taking in yet another person, they just can't sustain it. And so it's just a big part of our culture that, in general, if you have kids, don't count on them taking care of you when you get older, because that's, if that's the only reason you're having kids in the first place, is so that you have someone to take care of you when you're older, isn't that a little bit selfish? And not to mention the fact that, you know, there's no guarantee they're going to. You can't force them to take care of you. You know, there's nothing that it's going to say, like, once your kids turn 18, make them sign a contract. You must take care of me when I'm older. I don't think anyone's ever done that as far as I know. Here's a prenup, here's a child prenup agreement that you must take care of me when I'm older. 9 times out of 10 you're going to either end up in a nursing home, or if you can afford it, maybe have an in-home nurse come and help take care of you, that kind of thing. It depends on how good you are with your retirement savings ahead of time. So those are two really big misconceptions right there that I get thrown in my face constantly. And then you know, there's the whole thing about, oh, you're selfish for not having kids. How? I have yet to have one person, I've had this thrown at me a lot. Oh, you're so selfish for not having kids. But I've never had them tell me why it's selfish. All they can say is selfish. And yet they're the same people who say, you know, well, who's going to take care of you when you're older? To me, that, I think, is a selfish reason. It's a selfish reason to have kids in the first place. It's like you're having kids to take care of you. I think that's a selfish thing. So I don't see the need to have someone take care of me when I'm older. I can deal with that on my own. And so I'll be fine, and I don't see myself as being selfish for not having kids. Now, I have seen some people mention this to others of, well, you're being selfish because you're just depriving your significant other of having kids. No, because people who don't want children generally will have a relationship with someone else who doesn't want children. So we're not forcing someone in a relationship with us who, if they want children, generally we don't pursue a relationship with them. I did quite a bit of dating before I met my husband, and anytime the topic of, I brought up the topic of children pretty early, which I know probably scared off a lot of guys, but I was like, just so you know, I don't want kids. Because that tends to be a big deciding factor, and it's a pretty big thing, and I don't want to go down a road with someone only to end, you know, like falling in love with them and everything, to have it end because they want kids and I don't. I think that's unfair. And yes, that would be very selfish to kind of string someone along, basically, and then, well, I don't want kids, and then have the relationship end. And so, to me, I think it's a very important thing to bring that up fairly early on in the dating process, before feelings and emotions get too tangled up in the equation. Because, yeah, that, you know, if you do that, if you try to string someone along, with the idea that maybe you'll get married and have kids, and then you throw at them like, oh, well, no, I'm not having kids with you or anyone else. Okay, yeah, that I could see could be possibly selfish. But in general, as long as you're open and honest with someone about it, I don't see why it's a selfish choice at all. You know, some people are like, well, you know, of course there's always the religious argument of, you know, go forth and procreate and proliferate and whatnot. And, you know, humans have done that. We've done that very, very well, very, very successfully, to the point where we're over 7 billion people now, getting close to 8 billion. There's plenty of people having plenty of children out there. There's people like the Duggars who have 19 and counting, right? Plus numerous grandchildren already at this point. So, you know, I don't feel the pressure to help sustain the human race by procreating. I don't see myself as being selfish and not passing on my genetic code. And to be perfectly honest, my genetic code is pretty messed up as it is anyway. I think I'm doing the human race a favor by ending my genetic line with me. Just to be perfectly honest, especially from my mom's side of things. From my dad's side of things, well, he had several other children and they're all having kids, and so you know what? His genetic line will continue, and it's good. My mom's genetic line, it's a good thing it ended. It really needed to end. For many, many reasons. And so, you know, So there's all of these kinds of things that people keep throwing at me, and I don't know. There's one person on that one video that I mentioned. It's like the why I chose to be child-free. It's one person that has been in a comment thread with me for months now, who I don't know why it bothers him so much that I don't have children. He seems to be taking this as a personal insult that I am not having children, and I don't quite understand why, other than the fact that maybe he has no life. I don't know. And if you're watching this, dude, seriously, it's my life, and enough already. I'm not adopting. I have been sterilized. I'm not having kids. Not to mention the fact that I'm gonna be 45 this year, and I have a lot of things on my plate. I have my own company that I have been running for 8 years. I have my husband's company that I am trying to revive and move forward with and try and get the product out to market. It's a financial software thing, and if anyone wants to know more information, leave a comment below and I can talk about it further. And then I have a novel that I've written that I still need to edit. I keep talking about doing that, but life has been busy and I haven't had a chance to get to that yet. But I'm hoping to get to that this year still. I probably won't even do NaNoWriMo again this year unless I get inspired with another story. But right now I just want to get this novel edited and out to potential. I want to look for a literary agent who will then, if I can find a literary agent who will take me, then they will try and help me get it published. So we'll see about that. If that doesn't happen, I'll just self-publish it. Regardless, at some point in the next year, I hope, that novel should be available somewhere. So we'll see where that goes. But I have a lot of interests, I have a lot of passions, I have a lot of things that I enjoy doing. I have a really great support network and a lot of friends. And, whether I date or not, I have mentioned this before, it's too freaking soon to know, to be perfectly honest. And I just, after everything that's happened this year, I just don't know where or when or what or who I'm gonna be doing with that. I'm probably too young to say I'm never gonna date again, but I'm certainly not actively going to be pursuing that anytime soon, that I can see. I mean, if I meet someone just out of the blue and there's a connection there, I'm not gonna say never say, I am gonna say never. It may be, if the right connection with the right person, just, random happenstance, then okay, fine. But even if I don't ever find another significant partner in my life, you know what? That's okay. I had a really good run. I had 10 years with my husband. We weren't married that long, but we were a couple for 10 years. And, that's longer than a lot of relationships these days. Would have been nice if I could have grown old with him and been with him until I was 80, but, life happens. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But anyway, those are some of the things that come up when it comes to being child-free. And, I'm happy in general. Despite everything that's happened to me this year, my life, I really can't complain about my life. Even despite the tragedy, I've got such a great group of friends. My husband's family has been amazing. My own family has been amazing. And I have everything that I need in my life. And so for right now, everything is good. And I'm just going to continue moving forward. So thank you again for listening to my rambles. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.